The story opens with Chioma Okafor, a bright and gentle 13-year-old girl whose entire world revolves around her small home and the tender embrace of her mother. Her father, strict and convinced that harsh environments build strength, decides that the best way to shape her future is to send her to a hostel secondary school called Gloryland. He believes that comfort weakens children and that discipline only grows in hardship. Here lies the first unspoken moral: parents sometimes confuse suffering with strength, forgetting that emotional safety is the true foundation of growth. Chioma leaves home with a forced smile, hiding a heavy fear in her chest. The moment she enters Gloryland's towering gates, she senses the beginning of a new life, one she didn't choose. Hostel life immediately reveals its shadows: the noise, the overcrowded rooms, the coldness of strangers who share the same space but not the same heart. In the dormitory, she experiences her first night of real loneliness. Without her mother's warmth, the darkness feels alive, pressing against her small heart. Children sniffle quietly in corners. The mattresses are thin, the water scarce, the routine harsh and rushed. It becomes clear to Chioma that the hostel is not a home, it is a test of survival. Another embedded moral rises: children flourish with love, not with abandonment in the name of training. Her days become a cycle of endurance. Seniors like Adiz dominate the hostel like silent rulers. Juniors are treated as tools for chores and errands. Chioma quickly becomes a target because of her quiet nature. She washes corridors meant for 10 people, irons uniforms under pressure, and endures emotional intimidation no child should feel. Her grades begin to collapse, not because she cannot learn, but because her mind is drowning. She barely sleeps, barely breathes freely, and barely feels human. This part of her journey delivers another internal moral. Mental stress can destroy a child faster than academic failure ever will. When her parents visit, Chioma tries to express her pain, but her father calls her tears weakness. He believes hostel life is supposed to be tough, and that children must be molded like metal in fire. The story subtly teaches the dangerous moral mistake many parents make. When a child cries for help, ignoring that cry is the greatest form of neglect. The night that changes everything arrives with a storm. Rain pounds the roof like angry fist. Power goes out, plunging the hostel into terrifying darkness. Seniors order juniors around, and Adiz forces Chioma to fetch water outside alone despite the storm. Terrified but powerless, Chioma obeys. The wind nearly knocks her over. The tank area is slippery. As she struggles with the bucket, she falls hard, her arm smashing against concrete. Pain shoots through her body. Rainwater fills her mouth as she tries to scream, but thunder swallows her voice. She lies there trembling, unable to move. The fear of dying in a place where no one even knows she is missing tightens around her chest. A quiet but powerful moral emerges in that moment of darkness. Sending a child away does not guarantee safety, it only hides their suffering from the eyes meant to protect them. Eventually, her friend Imabom defies the senior's threats and finds her. She calls for help. Chioma is rushed to the clinic unconscious. Teachers panic, and the truth about Adiz's bullying begins to leak out. Her mother arrives in tears, cradling Chioma like a baby. Her father stands frozen, seeing for the first time what his decision has done. In his silent guilt, the story plants the final moral of this part. When parents ignore a child's emotional needs, they risk breaking the very future they hope to build. Chioma gradually healing in the school clinic. The injury on her arm is painful, but the emotional scars were even heavier. She wakes up to find her mother beside her, holding her hand as though afraid she might disappear. Her father sits quietly, unable to meet her eyes. The principal launches a full investigation. Juniors speak up at last. The walls of silence collapse. Adiz is suspended, and hostel staff are warned. The entire school becomes aware of how much suffering had been living inside their walls. During her time at home, Chioma experiences something she has almost forgotten: peace. She sleeps deeply. She feels safe. She smiles again. This part of the story reinforces an essential moral. Children do not need hardship to grow, they need stability, love, and a sense of belonging. Her father takes responsibility for the first time in her life. He apologizes not as a strict man, but as a humbled father who realizes his mistake. He finally understands that a child should be guided, not abandoned to harsh environments in the name of discipline. This realization injects another quiet moral. True strength in parenting comes from listening, not forcing. Chioma returns to school as a day student instead of a boarder. She gradually regains her confidence. The school environment feels lighter when she knows she will go home at the end of each day. Her grades improve, she becomes more alert, and she begins to speak up in class. Even Imebong finds courage through Chioma's recovery. She becomes an advocate among the juniors in the hostel, stepping in to stop bullying and reporting harmful behavior. Their friendship becomes an example that kindness can spark change even in dark places. The emotional climax arrives during the inter-house debate competition. Chioma steps onto the stage and delivers a powerful speech about the importance of emotional safety in the growth of a child, not detailing her story directly, but reflecting its truth in every sentence she speaks. The audience is moved, some to tears. Teachers watch in awe. In her speech lies the strongest moral in the whole story. A child's mind is fragile. When nurtured with love, it blossoms. When neglected, it withers. Chioma wins the competition. Her parents watch with pride and gratitude, realizing how close they came to losing her, not just physically, but emotionally. The story ends with Chioma standing outside the school gate beside her parents, sunlight warming her face. She smiles, knowing she has survived something that could have broken her. Her parents silently promise never to ignore her voice again. The final moral blends beautifully into the ending. The greatest gift a parent can give a child is not a good school, but a safe heart. Children grow best where they feel loved, heard, and protected.